Hello viewers, my name is Mercy Alexander. I welcome you to another exciting edition of your program, The Gallery. So sit, relax, I will be right back.
Dr. Jo Okei-Odumakin is a human rights activist. She graduated from the University of Ilorin, where she got a BA-ED in English and Education. She returned to the same school and bagged her MED in Guidance and Counseling and her PhD in History and Policy of Education in 1996. Dr. Jo Odumakin has over 30 years' experience in human rights work in Nigeria. She cut her teeth in activism as the Secretary of Women in Nigeria, WIN, Kwara State, from 1988 to 1991, and the Coordinator of Women in Nigeria, Kwara State Branch, from 1991 to 1996. Chairperson Rethink Nigeria from 1987 to 1992, and Chairperson Committee for Defense of Human Rights, Kwara State Branch, from 1990 to 1996. She was the General Secretary Campaign for Democracy from 1996 to July 29, 2006, and later became President for 10 years. She is also the President of Women Arise for Change, Chairman Task Force of the Citizens Forum, spokesperson, Coalition of Civil Society Organizations, President, Center for Change in Community Development and Public Awareness, and convener, Nigerians Unite Against Terror. Dr. Jo has handled over 4,000 cases of gender-based violence nature and also helped victims to seek redress in court and finally rehabilitate some of them under the aegis of Women Arise for Change Initiative, an organization she founded in 2003. Dr. Jo has won over 650 awards to her credit, including the U.S. International Women of Courage and African Woman of the Year Award presented to her by African Leadership Awards in February 2020. Her consistency and unwavering determination for survival of democracy in Nigeria made Professor Wole Soyinka to describe her as a tireless fighter, frail-bearing, bellies and inner strength and resilience purpose, a veteran of affirmative marches, of crude arrests and detentions, batting charges and tigers who have lent luster to the struggle for justice and human dignity, who remain an inspiration of men and women, young and old. Dr. Jo Okei-Odumakin is happily married, and the marriage is blessed with children.
I welcome you to the show, ma.
Pleasure, thank you.
Yes, ma. It's nice having you on our program.
Thank you.
Yes, ma. With what I've seen so far, you've gone through a lot. You have been fighting for the rights of people. How did you come about this, ma?
Well, growing up, my parents were staunch Catholic, but I wanted to be a nun. I just wanted to be married to Jesus. Then I did all within the Catholic system. But when I almost finished my secondary school, we had a missionary, Miss Tire, and I told her that I wanted to fill the form. So she got a form for me in a seminary. I filled. And then when I finished my secondary school, my dad was in the UK, so while I was filling the form, my mom saw me. And I was very close to my dad as the first daughter. So my dad, we had this analog phone. My dad called and my mom said, well, your darling, your younger wife, yes, wants to go to the seminary. My dad said, you don't want to procreate? Okay, young girl, I will disown you. So I went, I told the missionary, just said, you should not bother about being disowned. The person that should bother you is the one that is in heaven. This is your earthly father. The most important one is your heavenly father. Yeah. So I continued. And then my dad came back from UK. Just said, not only will I disown you, I'll print your obituary. I'll put it in observer newspaper.
That's serious.
I'm just wondering. My dad is scared me now. When you put it, they say, ghost, spirit. So throughout the night, I couldn't sleep. I cried. So after that, in the morning, I just told my dad, I said, well, I want to further my studies. So he took me to School of Business Studies, Kwara State Polytechnic. The SBS director, Dr. Achom, said I should be living in this house. So I feel because initially I collected the form for me, so I feel everything. My admission was okay. The wife who taught me, you know, all the previous things. You want to go to seminary, you want to do this, go and watch this thing. So it was frustrating for me. So I went to my dad's office and said that please take me to the hostel. I don't want to live with them again. I lived there for maybe 3-4 days, but it was like 40 days. Wow. So my dad then said okay. So the director, I started clocking in and out, coming from the hostel. In the morning, I would sign in the evening. And that was how it was. But in school, I always, anything that has to do with my studies, even the Bible then, about, I read the Bible like twice in a year, the whole Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. It was like so. My studies, I study very hard. So in class or during lectures, I would always engage my lecturer and yeah, so that was how a lot of students came to know me. Probably Reverend Sister. So I went for one meeting, Rethink Nigeria, and I observed there was no opening or closing prayer. So when I observed it, they said they would throw me out. They are talking about serious national issues. This thing is talking about prayers. What's the meaning of prayers in the state of the nation? So they said they put it the following time again. One of my colleagues called me. I went there. They then helped me, threw me out. Even the second leg of my sandals, they didn't allow me to take it. So after that, I never bothered myself again. And then I finished, got into the university. I just wanted my dad to train me and I'll go back to that seminary. So while I was in 200 to 300 level, one lecturer discovered that somebody scored high marks in her test. So mentioned my matriculation number. I went to see the lecturer. He said, yes, how are you? I said, fine. Why are you looking for me? Very strict. So he said, are you a stammerer? I said, no. He said, be confident. What happened? I said, you mentioned my matriculation number. He said, why? You perform very well. Why are you calling my sister? I said, don't stammer here. I said, I want to be married to Jesus. He then gave me books to read. One quotation that changed everything was from the biography of Martin Luther King that says, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. After that, everything in me got wired up. I started the struggle. Started from women in Nigeria who had manifesto night. All the books she gave me to read because I'm just trying to fast track. All the books she gave me to read, manifesto night. I read out everything. Students were hailing me, and that was how I started from women in Nigeria. 1985, 89, we had Committee for Defense of Human Rights, and then I went for my youth service. I served in the barracks, interacting with soldiers, teaching them the use of English. So that was how I just started. But that time it was very military dictatorship, and anything I was committed, I do it all commitment, passion. I engage in it as if there is no other day. As if that 24 hours. So that was how I started, and I got my baptism. Trying to place posters in the police headquarters. I was eating big black, seriously looking jobs. And then when we have rallies, I started from Ilorin, and because it's populated anyway, but it's very easy to get people, to fish at people, to smoke them out. So from there, different rallies, I'll be beaten, I'll be arrested. At times, even when we are somewhere and the security operating squad will say, I'm the one leading. Maybe we're having meetings and they come to round up there and say, I'm the one leading.
Even when you're not
please, yes, please leave them. Even when I started living off campus, I got two friends, the Lapo and Odumakin, to live in 3-bedroom flats. We took the room. When they came, they picked all of us. I got there and said, please release them. Those guys cried. As on the ground, cried. And at the end, they detained us for about 1 week. As soon as they released us like this, they packed their clothes and ran away. So I converted their rooms to, I refunded their money. Anybody that is expelled, prosecuted. If there was courtesy there, maybe I should have been, because branded one, we all put on black to go and place posters at night under the cover of darkness. If courtesy was rampant, then one would have been branded cultists, because after those guys left, we got about 40, close to 50 guys living in a flat. So in my apartment, and we always have posters to paste. Like the other day,
And you just do it at night.
At night, maybe from 1 a.m.
Okay.
What will happen is I'll buy starch, I'll prepare, put everything in different containers, and I will instruct those who will pick me because I will be the only lady among them. The moment I recruit some ladies, I won't see them again. You know, when they are harassed and you know, so I'll just take my own stand and I'll warn them. I'll go to the deadliest of all, maybe to go and place at the barracks, maybe at the police headquarters, the DSM, sensitive places, and I'll just say, we'll go with bike, drop me off, and no one should be close to me, so that if I'm shot dead, they can tell people that that was the last place that she went to. I don't want any other person to be involved.
Yeah.
So the moment I'm dropped off, I'll just start pasting and so anytime I'm caught, I will be the only one I'll be beating until unconsciousness, and I'll get back. I'll be conscious again. So that was how the struggle became my life.
But those things you were posting, is it for a certain program?
Oh, okay. Most of the things, sensitization, we just say no to military dictatorship.
Okay.
IBB, go now. And I mean, they are just messages to
government.
Yes, government, especially military government. It's not like the luxury that people have now that will go and paste posters, one will be arrested. You know, they're run by decree. There was no constitution, so anybody can kill at any point in time. So going there, one will know that it's bullets. And if you meet, I tell you that one of the slap when I went to places that number, the slap that soldier gave me like 3 times for close to 4 years. I was there. Even that's why I went to the hospital. That my eardrum, you know, I was near death that time. So one knows that this is business. It's a matter of life and death. And just to mention that, as soon as I gave my life to the struggle, I prepared a will. I only had maybe in my trials and books. I have no other thing. Just for me to show that, well, that is just life. If anything happens in the course, well, so
it happens, Wow. Oh, that's a strong one. I don't think we still have people who have this kind of zeal and mind to fight for women's rights. Now, ma'am, quickly, what does it really take to be a woman rights activist?
Well, one is conviction. If one is convinced and then one has that passion, you just see that one will suffer sleeplessness. When anything happens, I keep thinking, I get troubled, I lose appetite. My happiest moment is when I defend people's rights, when I stand up against injustice, when I believe in a Nigeria that works and I work towards it, walking the talk. You know, talk is very cheap. It's very easy for one to keep talking. But when one wants to walk the talk, then one must be convinced that this thing that I'm going in for can cost me my life. And then one will do such without fear of favor. If one is arrested in the process, it's only one person that will be locked up, that will be chained hands and legs, and they will interrogate one. They will even want one to implicate
some other people.
Yes, some other people and oneself. So it's strong will, conviction, passion, dedication, and also knowing that what is in this life. So far, I believe in God Almighty that created me, and that is the person that can take my life.
Is there at any point in time you say, no, I'm done, like I can't continue again, this thing is becoming so dangerous for me to keep, fighting for? Is there any point in time you say, no, for now I'm done, I'm not going to continue with this activist thing any longer?
You see, one thing really is any of those times that I'll be arrested, that I remember spending months, close to 8 months at Alamo, and my mom would tell me then fast. I can fast, but if it's to fast for 4, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, my mom does. I can't do that. But in detention, that I had terrible ulcer. I never knew that I was as terrible as that. But I was not discouraged. I was not deterred because I had made up my mind. And where determination exists, failure can never dismantle the flag of success. So that determination, and there was never any time that I looked back. Even the time I was chained under a table, chained for months that I thought I had lost my spinal cord. I remember the time I was arrested and already detained for unlawful assembly, trying to overthrow the government of Abacha. And then I was being brought to Lagos. I was very sick then. If you see the chain, my legs and my hands. That was why Chief Ganifa saw me when they were pulling me because I'm not very fat. I was so skinny then. So chaining me, my hands and legs, where else? And they were I couldn't even walk because I had typhoid. And while they were treating me, my father was to sign an undertaking that I'll be of good behavior. And I said, Dad, you have other children. If I die in the process, you still have other children. Don't sign. And I saw my dad, my wife, I saw my mom too. And after that, they violently removed the drips they were giving me, plastered it because I was.
Still very stubborn, like
yes.
you still want to keep to what you're saying.
Yes, yes.
That you're not giving up.
Yes. So when they brought me to Lagos, then they took me to Panti. After, then they just moved to Alago. So it was then I saw. Ghanaian, so Chief Ganifa said, "Why are you treating her like this?" He was also detained. If you don't treat her like a human being, I will no longer cooperate. So, and you know what it is in those days to go. And I remember one of these time I was detained at Division B, and they put me in the cell where they are male, hardened criminals.
God.
And the moment they saw me, maybe they wanted to break me, and I was not scared. I was not even. They threw me there, but their president just said, "Don't touch her, she's my wife. Sit on my leg." And you know people that. So then nothing really happened. So it's just there was never any time that I looked back and I said I will no longer
continue. Thank you very much, ma. Now, ma, in your own opinion, what can be done for the Nigerians to understand what their rights are?
We must have massive education, create awareness. Awareness is key. It's always easier to create awareness than for rights to be violated, and we speak up against such rights. Rights have been violated to the extent that lives will be lost. Some people are permanently maimed. Somebody fought somebody, she lost her sight. Such a thing cannot be corrected. So the National Orientation Agency there will also be need for assistance in such regards. But human rights group must do a lot more in order to educate people, carry out awareness, let people even know what their rights are. And let somebody also know that when you are in a relationship, instead of the person to die there, it's better
to take
a walk, so that when it's conducive, such a person can return. And we want the religious organization, either in a mosque, in churches, when we mount the pulpit, let's, apart from preaching, the word, let those people who have such as we take some few seconds, talk about rights, educate those people who are listening, so that at the end they will come to learn. And when they have their rights violated, they know how to seek redress. They don't take to self-help. Somebody hits you, somebody beats you, then you go and hit the person back. That person might drop dead. That person might be wounded. Several things can happen. So they know you can easily go to the police station. We need awareness, we need sensitization. People go and report, and they taunt some of them. Go and sit down. You are not ashamed. You are coming to report that your husband beat you or your wife beat you. So somebody has been facing such. The wife beat and killed the man.
My God.
So when one reports, amen, anyone that is listening, don't talk about what society will say. Life remains, no one will stigmatize you for coming to report that my wife has been beating me. Because when the person kills such a person, and for the woman, let no religious organization force a woman to stay in a relationship that has become unbearable. When that person dies, that person is the only one that is responsible. There was a sad case of Roslyn Shogi, mother of 5, that would have opted out. When she returned, And few months after that, the husband slit the throat.
God.
After that, the husband took sniper,
And
and
killed
the five
himself.
children became orphans. So the earlier we speak, when people know their rights, when they can report, some of them have a financial body that as much as possible, let's help so that those people will not stay in a relationship that will not pay them. And for those who take laws into their hands, you should not think that because you are a uniform person, you continue to harass people. And when that person reports that uniform that people seem to respect one might be pulled off. We will carry out different awareness. We involve our Nollywood people. People like to look. So when they see them on the street, they look at them. We go to the police. We also involve them. We did training for special anti-robbery squad nationwide, and through that, we're able to to interact and know some of what is missing, the missing link.
Yeah.
So it's not just enough to criticize, to agonize, and we must organize.
Yes.
And we must help
Yes.
to mold our country, our society, so that we have a Nigeria that works, where justice, peace will reign at all times, and where loss of lives will become a thing of the past.
Ma, thank you so very much, man. Now we've been so serious about her personal, like what she does mainly. Now, ma, in all this, moving up and down, trying to fight for the rights of people, do you ever take out time to relax?
Well, the only way I relax is to personally get to know people on social media, my friends on Facebook, my friends on Instagram, my friends on Twitter, listen to get feedback mechanism, and then get to know what is happening. I think that's the only way that I relax. I don't marking of birthdays. I do that for 5 years. I've been going to secondary schools, public schools, make uniform, join my colleagues in class,
Yes.
my students, so we all interact, and and then some of them become change agents.
Okay, ma. Ma, before we say like good day and goodbye to the show, we want you to use this opportunity to advise our youth because a lot of things have been happening out there, mostly among we the youth. So they will want you to give them a couple of advice. Also, our government, because they have a role to play in this country.
I use down there listening to out there listening to this program. I just want all of you to realize that it's the way you make your bed that you come back, to lie on it. All those peer influence. Don't let anyone. I use those who are committing suicide. You want to be like somebody, poverty, you get suffer low self-esteem, and at the end commit suicide. I didn't envisage being who I am today. I started off growing up, reading my books, being obedient, and making sure that I cut my coat according to my size. And anything, parents too. Let's be friends to our youngsters. Let's don't leave them to the mercy of house help, how as well. We are chasing money every day. When we have that money, we're going to use that money to look after all these our children. So some of the parents are responsible for the waywardness and lackadaisical attitude that we have from our government. I want our government to create an enabling environment. Some of our youngsters are suffering. There should be alternative measures that will be put in place. When they suffer and suffer and suffer, you see transportation problem, accommodation problem. I mean, some of them even leisure. Some of the places that they should go and sit down and take leisure, they've been converted to warehouses for some of our religious centers. So government must create an enabling environment. Please help us create jobs. Don't commercialize education. Let it be accessible. And for those ones, lecturers, teachers, search for maths, all those things, when it comes, when a lecturer ends, a teacher ends, It's going to affect the family. It's going to affect the site. All the things that we are building. Somebody that wants to become a teacher have certificates. Some have masters, and some are doctors, some are professors. Let's don't destroy all this. All our young ones, let's advise them, take them as our daughters, so that they can have that shoulder to lean on. But the overall thing is that it's very difficult for one to clap with one hand. To get a resigning approach, you must clap with both hands. There must be that synergy. Parents, governments, and even our young ones, we must all work together so that we build those nations that we see that are very, very strong, that are developed. Youths are the ones doing the magic.
Yes.
Let's have hope in this country. I'm an incredible optimist. I'm so optimistic that if we harness all the energy our youths have, and governments become supportive, parents play their roles, religious centers play their roles, the media, I must salute you. What you are doing is a great investment, because through that, listeners will listen, they will help to mold lives. So I want to thank you, because you are also contributing to the growth and development of our youth.
Thank you so very much. Hello, my viewers out there. You heard from our guest today. Our parents, you have your work to do, the government, even we the youth. Sometimes I use myself as an example. I never had my both parents with me, but while I was growing up, I told myself one thing, that I'm not going to fail. I am not going to entangle myself with some unfriendly friend, so I will be on the right track. It's not easy doing that. It's not easy, I must say, because nothing good comes easy. It comes with a lot of hard work, hunger, people rejecting you. But don't give up. Just be strong, and above all, be very, very prayerful, because prayer is the key. Now we just have to call it a day. Be part of our program. Call us on the number on your screen. Follow us on all our social media, and I still remain your host, Mercy Alexander. Bye and have a wonderful weekend.